Hello, Internet. It's Jen T. Grace here, founder of Publish Your Purpose Press. And I am back for day number 9, tip number 9 of the 30-day marketing challenge. Your challenge for the 30-day period that we are in right now is to double your book sales. So whether you sold 5 books last month or 5,000 books last month, either way, your goal is to double your book sales. Yesterday's tip was a little more complex and required a lot more effort, which was around calls to action. Today's tip is something much simpler. So again, I'm trying to mix up the strategic tips with some tips that are just a little bit easier to access. So the first tip for today is tip number 9, and that's to update your LinkedIn profile. Now, it may be a decade since you've been on LinkedIn. I would imagine if you're writing nonfiction or you're writing a memoir that you are using to build your business, your speaker brand, your career, etc., chances are you have been on LinkedIn in the last decade, but I'm routinely surprised by how frequently people are not updating their LinkedIn. So step number 1, go to your LinkedIn and see when you may have last updated it. So book aside, see if it's actually current and up to date. Check out how you are writing about your company. Is it up to date? Have you changed your mission statement? Have you changed products or services? Things like that. So definitely, I don't want this to just be focused on the book only. I want you to really be thinking about how do you update your LinkedIn profile and just make it shine, generally speaking. So that's the first step. Then the second step I want you to do is look at where you can strategically include information about your book. LinkedIn has a number of really easy ways to do this. So the first thing is in the experience section. Now, this isn't something that everyone does, and I highly recommend it because it's such an easy way to bring visibility to your book. And we have a number of PYP authors that are doing this beautifully. So at publishyourpurposepress.com/marketing, if you go there and look to tip number 9, I will put screenshots of some best practices and good examples of what some of our authors are doing. So the first thing is experience. And the experience section is where you list your company, what your current company is, maybe if you were employed previously, who your employer was. It's really kind of like the resume-ish part of your LinkedIn. So add the fact that you are a published author in that section. If you are a PYP author, I encourage you to put Publish Your Purpose Press as the company, and then list yourself as author, and then put the launch date of when your book came out. If you are not working with a publisher and you self-published it, that's totally fine too. You'll want to put in your book's name potentially as the company. So again, I'll have a screenshot of an example that you can kind of follow and mimic, but that's a great place because honestly, when people are going to look up information about you, they're going to look at your experience. They're going to want to see about your company. And if your book is relatively new, they're going to scroll, and immediately under your company information, there's going to be the fact that you published this book. And then it also kind of gives a time frame of how long your book has been available. So the author that I'm going to use as an example that you can check out is Monica Kang. She wrote Rethink Creativity, and on her LinkedIn page, it very clearly says released September 2018, and then it has the information about the book, and it has links to how you can buy the book. So that's the experience section. That's a section that most people don't think about to include their book in, which is just a great way to do it. The second area is in the publication section. It doesn't automatically come up by default as an option for when you're filling out your profile. Like it might pop up the thing saying, you're halfway there, you haven't completed X, Y, and Z. The publication section doesn't by default pop up. So you have to go in to your profile and it'll have some button that says something like add sections. When you go in there, you will see publication. There, you can put a 3D image of your book. You can put a flat image of your book. You can put the link to your book. You can put a little information about your book. And then you can decide where on your LinkedIn profile you want that publication to show. So in this case, it's your published author. Not everyone is a published author. So we want to elevate that to make it pop up right at the top of your LinkedIn profile. So you want to bring that publication section straight up to the top. So when someone comes to your LinkedIn profile, they immediately see that you are a published author. So that is in the publication section. Additionally, there's an introduction section on your profile where you can talk about yourself and talk about who you are. What you can do there is include information of the fact that you are an author. This is the name of your book. And here's a link to go to your website where they can find out more about the book and then potentially purchase it. So those are 3 specific ways right out of the gate. So the experience section, the publication section, and then your introduction section. Additionally, there is another place you can do this. You can do it in articles. So if you are not already leveraging LinkedIn articles, that is going to be a separate tip in and of itself. But there is an opportunity, even if you never publish another article on LinkedIn, write an article that talks about your book. It talks maybe about some of the behind the scenes information, access to how you wrote your book, what prompted you to write your book, just something that's more than just the, hey, here's my book, here's the description, here's the link, because you have other places on your LinkedIn profile where that information will live. So that's today's tip. This tip should not take you too long to execute. I would block out maybe a solid hour if you have not looked at your LinkedIn in quite some time. I would definitely take a moment, check it out, go through, block out an hour and just see all of the different places that you can strategically get people to see the fact that you are a published author. You can additionally even include it in your title, the tagline, if you will, of your LinkedIn profile to say, author, speaker, consultant, founder of, whatever you want to do. You may or may not want to include author there, but honestly, you're a published author. You worked really hard to do this. This is not something that just anybody can accomplish. So you may as well brag about it, because if there's any place that you can comfortably brag about all of your accomplishments and achievements, it's LinkedIn. Like, LinkedIn is designed for you to be able to brag about how awesome you are, how awesome your business is, how awesome your book is. So that is today's tip. As I mentioned, there will be further tips related to LinkedIn and how to leverage other areas of LinkedIn as it relates to your book. But today's tip is just updating your profile. And I would love if you shared with me what your updated profile looks like. Please, by all means, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm on Jen T. Grace there. It's, I'm pretty sure the only Jen T. Grace, so it should be pretty easy to find me. Check that out. Leave, send me a message, comment below this video. Let me know how you updated your LinkedIn profile, because I'm always curious to see, are there other ways that we can be leveraging this? These happen to be ways that I talk about with authors that I work with, that I have done myself. So you may as well take advantage of that and just update your LinkedIn profile. Quick couple of announcements. I am continuing to do office hours. They are currently on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So if you are already a published author, or you are in the middle of writing your book, wherever you might be in the process, please consider joining those office hour calls. There's a link below this video that has information for the Zoom number. You don't have to register. You can just show up and ask questions, be a voyeur, just listen to what the conversation is, to just kind of feel inspired to kind of continue to get your book done. And then all of these tips are housed on publisherpurposepress.com/marketing. So any resource that I mentioned, in this case, I was mentioning screenshots of one of our authors' profiles. Definitely, you can go there and check it out. And any other resources from previous tips are also on those on that page as well. So again, that was tip number 8, update your LinkedIn profile. I would love for you to share with me what you do with it. And I will be back tomorrow for tip number 9, which may be a little bit more involved. We shall see. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, everyone.